Pavel Nedved.
Nedved.
Hello.
Neddy Vedder.
One of my favourites, Marcus. Nedved. Good. One of my favourites, Marcus, so please continue.
Oh, can I? He was born on the August the 30th, 1972.
5 years after.
Yeah.
Not even bother with that anymore, come on.
No.
Of course,
Get to the good stuff.
Of course, he was is a former Czech international footballer. Did you know, gentlemen, that when he was younger, his parents encouraged him to become an accountant?
I know he's got some sort of qualification.
Yeah,
He's
it's
reasonably well
surveyor's
read.
thing, isn't it?
Is it what it is? Yeah, he's well read. So that doesn't surprise me.
Well, it wasn't to be. By the age of 19, he was playing for Dukla Prague in the Czech leagues, and it was within a season he was at big rivals Sparta Prague.
I've been to Prague. It's a very nice place.
It is a beautiful city,
Although
yeah.
decimated by English stag do. Stop getting married, everyone.
Yeah.
At Sparta, he won 3 consecutive league titles between 92 and 95.
Yeah.
And it was the consistency of his performances that earned him a spot in the national side.
So this is when he came into my my sort of knowledge when he was in the Euro '96 squad.
In Euro 96?
And they were an excellent team as well. They were then.
That's right. Well, he made his debut for Czech Republic in June '94 against Ireland, actually. But absolutely, Euro '96 is when he really came to the forefront.
They could have won it.
Well, they got to the final, of course, yeah.
When he first came into the scene, he always used to remind me. He looks a bit like Jurgen Klinsmann, and I always used to confuse me in my brain.
I think he looks like Patrick Swayze.
Patrick Swayze,
Yeah, he
I'm
does.
Swayze?
actually.
Yeah.
Mm.
Good.
Yeah, or like your mum's mate.
Yeah, he does look a bit like that. Yeah.
He's better looking than your mum's
Yeah,
mate.
he's very handsome in my opinion. He looks,
I
like,
think
he looks like a bit like a computer game footballer.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
got like a very angular face.
Yeah.
But like a made-up computer game footballer that's been
Yeah.
made up to look like a sort of stand-out footballer.
Rivaldo. Excellent point, well made. Rivaldo also looks like a computer game footballer.
Yeah, but
Email him with your footballers that look like computer game footballers, do you?
You pixelated men.
Do us a favour. Sorry, carry on, Marcus.
So, of course, Euro 96, they got to the final, were beaten by Germany 2-1.
Boo.
But he had a very good tournament, and that's where, you know, he was spotted by some of Europe's big clubs. And after Euro 96, he was signed by Lazio.
Yeah, I remember that.
And he won the Coppa Italia with Lazio. He won the league.
He inspired them to the league, if I remember right, in 2000. And then the season after that, he signed for Juve.
He did,
for
yeah.
about 40 million euros.
Well, of course,
Something like that,
he
yeah.
won the Cup Winners' Cup as well.
Oh, sorry, yeah,
with
he did,
Lazio.
yeah.
Played in the last ever one.
At Villa Park.
Scored the last ever goal of the whole tournament. And of course, at Lazio, he played with another Dean Windass Hall of Famer, Christian Vieri.
Yeah. Legend.
Yeah.
It's almost like we put someone in every week, isn't it?
Yeah,
the amount of people
yeah.
cropping up in other profiles.
The Czech Republic qualified for Euro 2000. They went out in the first round, but they played some good football. And
I fancied him that tournament.
Well, I mean, I mentioned sort of Jan Koller and Stjepstam earlier when they played Holland, but they were so unlucky that particular match.
Yeah.
Holland got a lucky penalty in the last few moments, but Czech Republic was superb. And so unlucky because they played Holland and France.
It was annoying because I was touting them before the tournament.
Yeah.
Bit of a shame.
But again, though, Nedved played well for them that tournament, and he was getting, huge write-ups all across
Rave reviews, you
Europe.
could say.
That as well, Luke. And this didn't go unnoticed by the big boys, Juventus.
The old lady.
Mm-hmm. And
40 million euros or something?
Well, they just sold Zinedine Zidane. And in 2001, they paid 41 million euros, or it was about 25 million pounds at the time, in 2001. He was effectively a replacement for Zinedine Zidane.
Well, that is incredible when you think about it, because he did quite literally effectively replace him, didn't he? He was very, very good. He just slotted in very well. He was an absolute legend at Juventus.
He's a superb player.
I mean,
that is some big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
But he
biggest.
filled them, and they won the Scudetto a number of times: 01, 02, 02, 03, 04, 05, 05, 06.
Yeah, a couple of them were struck off though.
Do you think Juventus were having a sort of dig at Zidane's baldness by getting Nedved?
Yeah, scariest
this is a man's head of hair.
He got a
Zidane.
wonderful head of hair.
Yeah, he really had
Absolutely.
flowing locks.
Yeah,
very
much
very
so.
reminiscent of Caniggia
Yeah.
when he's in full flow.
Very, very true. He was hugely influential when Juventus reached the 2003 Champions League final, with Nedved scoring 5 goals along the way. But unfortunately, he missed the final because he got a booking
suspended. Yeah.
It was right at the end of the game against Real Madrid in the second leg of the semi-final, and I think, if my memory serves me correctly, it was not long after he'd scored one of the goals which looked to take Juventus through.
Yeah.
So the whole stadium was buzzing, and then he just got a silly.
There was no Paul Gascoigne tears though.
No.
He's a hard Eastern European, go for that. Who tends to his hair very, very delicately.
It is a shame that he missed that game, because that is probably the most boring Champions League final in living memory.
Well, of course, Milan won on penalties.
Yeah.
Old Trafford, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, right, yeah. I mean, they needed a player like that to kind of get the game going. But even though he didn't play in the Champions League final, Nedved had such a great season that he was given the Ballon d'Or.
And well deserved.
What an achievement.
He was unstoppable around that sort of time.
Yeah.
Absolutely super.
I just remember that tackle. It was such a shame he never played in the final.
Was it? I can't remember the actual incident. Was it definitely a booking?
Steve McManaman he fouled.
That's right. Yeah.
Was it definitely? A booking?
It was definitely a booking, and he knew that as well as soon as he did it.
Shame for him.
A real shame. But